You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, authorities in Miami, Oklahoma search for the cause of a house fire that claimed the life of a 56-year-old man.
Also, authorities in Jasper County search for information involving a hit-and-run crash that injured a 10-year-old boy.
And we have a wind advisory in effect today. We have got an alert day for these gusty winds. We'll talk about how windy it's going to get and how warm it's going to get coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Amber Jenkins. Jasper County authorities are looking for information on a hit-and-run crash involving a child. It happened Monday morning on County Line 197, a mile east of Carterville, Missouri. Investigators say a black car was driving north of the wrong side of the road and hit a 10-year-old boy from Joplin. The boy suffered minor injuries. Authorities want to hear from anyone who might have information. A Joplin man has died and 5 more people are injured from a Christmas Day car crash. The crash happened near Coyote and Apricot Road in Newton County. Authorities say the driver, Samuel Mitchell, hit a concrete culvert. Mitchell died at the hospital. 3 adults in the car suffered minor to serious injuries. 2 children suffered serious injuries. Authorities say no one was wearing their seatbelts. A report from the Missouri State Highway Patrol shows the total number of crashes they worked on during the Christmas holiday were up compared to last year. The report looks at crashes from Friday evening to Monday night. This year, 3 people died in traffic crashes. The Highway Patrol worked a total of 306 crashes. That number is up from the compared last year's 227 crashes. You can find the full breakdown of the report on the KOAM News app. Authorities respond to house fires in multiple areas of the 4 states in this past week. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities search for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a Northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from the bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He has died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, Pittsburgh officials released information on Tuesday about last week's house fire on Forest Street. The fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There's no word yet on the cause of the fire. And the fires are not done yet. Authorities tell Shannon Becker a vacant resident caught on fire just a few hours ago. Just after 12:15 a.m. this morning, Joplin Emergency 911 responded to reports of smoke from a residence at 1731 South Pennsylvania in Emerson neighborhood. Neighbors tell Joplin police the resident was vacant and Joplin Fire declared the blaze out within 15 minutes. The Joplin Fire Marshal is investigating the calls. The minimum wage in Missouri is about to climb. Employers will have a pay to at least $12 an hour effective January 1st. However, the change will not apply to retail and service businesses whose gross annual sales are less than $500,000. Also, the law does not apply to public employers. Employers are required to pay the tip employees at least 50% of the minimum wage plus any amount necessary to bring the employee's total compensation to a minimum of $12 an hour. Missouri minimum wage change is the result of a statewide vote in 2018, increasing the minimum wage 85 cents per year each year through 2023. Drivers in North Missouri can expect lane reductions and traffic delays beginning next Tuesday. Crews will begin to work to stabilize the stream bank and make sidewalk improvements along Elk River Route 59 between the Elk River Bridge and the Butler Creek Bridge. Only one lane on Route 59 will be open at all times. There will be no signed detours, but to find a full list of traffic impacts, head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
We've got an alert day today for a wind advisory. It's this highlighted area in brown, which is virtually all of us through midnight tonight, as we're going to see wind gusts pushing 50, potentially even 60 miles an hour as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, and it will stay gusty until early tomorrow morning. So this is a trash can gone forever kind of day, so just be aware of that. Right now in Joplin, we've got a beautiful sunrise. You can see the wind blowing out there. 45, feels like 36, south breeze at 24, gusting to 37 miles an hour out there. Across the region, a milder start for us. 40 Fort Scott, 41 Pittsburgh, 43 Chetopa, 46 Miami, 45 in Carthage, and 41 in Lamar. We're heading for a high of 57 today. We'll have increasing clouds as the day goes on. As we head into tonight, an early low of 50, mostly cloudy skies, and temperatures will begin to rise towards sunrise.
Up next, Catherine Pinto from K-State Extension Office stops by to tell us how SMART goals can help you keep your New Year's resolutions.
And later, 19 students from a Las Vegas middle school mariachi band end up stranded after attending a mariachi music conference in Chicago. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, over the holiday season, we tend to overindulge, which can lead to a feeling of fullness and bloating. If you're not feeling like your usual self, you're not alone. Manny Gathler has ways to help with the post-holiday bloat.
You may not normally indulge yourself, but the holiday candy, cookies, and other confections are hard to resist this time of year, and it can leave your belly a little out of sorts.
All of these foods, for the most part, can cause inflammation in the body.
If you overdid it over the holidays, get back on track now. Start by cutting out those fatty, sugary foods today.
That might start to make you feel better, and just get back on, your healthy eating schedule, whether you're tracking your calories, you're tracking your macronutrients, or you're just being aware of the foods that you're eating.
Wellness coach Joey Thurman says to focus on lean protein, fruits and veggies, as well as healthy fats, and focus on hydration.
Water is going to hydrate our cells. In particular, I think people forget about having water that has electrolytes in it, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and those are very important.
Thurman says movement is also important to help with that bloat, whether it's walking, stretching, or traditional yoga poses.
You're getting your blood to your muscle tissues. That's going to deliver nutrients to that. That's also going to help your digestive system. It's a prokinetic, so help digesting that food and helping push that through.
Thurman says to be especially mindful of how you eat, slow down and enjoy each bite, and you may find you'll eat less.
Thurman says to also think about all the habits you may have added over the holidays that are bad, and to change them. Whether it's adding better sleep to your day, focusing on more fruits or vegetables, or even adding more fiber to your diet. He says those are small changes that can have a big impact to your health.
We've got an alert day today for a wind advisory. We've got an absolutely gorgeous sunrise out there at 7th and Rangeline, but you can see the trees blowing in the wind, and the camera from MoDOT at 36th and Rangeline shaking with this breeze as well. So just be aware of this. The wind advisory runs until midnight tonight for wind gusts pushing 40 to 50 miles an hour. We could even see wind gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour. This is where the wind advisory is. All these counties in brown, again, until midnight tonight. And this is why, as we head into the afternoon, that's when we could see those gusts pushing the 50 to 60 mile an hour mark out there. So very breezy. That could result in small tree limbs being downed. It could result in some possible power outages. So be prepared for that. Even though it looks nice outside, that wind is going to be howling, and it will continue to do so as we head through the rest of this afternoon, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. So this is a trash can gone forever kind of day. Make sure it's secured. All right. In that beautiful sunrise, we've got clear skies, 45 in Joplin, feeling like 36, south breeze at 24, gusting to 37. A much milder start for us today than what we saw yesterday, considering that it was about 8 degrees in Iola yesterday, so it's 39 there now, 42 Chinook Parsons, 43 Chetopa, 46 Miami, 44 Neosho, and 45 in Carthage. As we go through today, we've got the wind to deal with. Otherwise, a high of 57. We're going to be mostly clear to start the day, and then clouds will increase as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, and into tonight. We have an early low of 50, and then temperatures begin to rise towards sunrise as we'll remain mostly cloudy across the area. And we're not done with the warm weather just yet. It's going to be even warmer come tomorrow. 61 for Thursday, 53 on Friday, 55 on New Year's Eve day. We could see some scattered showers, but these should be out of here before it's time to bring in the new year. And we're going to do it in style because look at that, 63 for January 1st. And partly cloudy skies. Not a bad start to the new year at all. 62 Monday, maybe some scattered storms. 51 Tuesday and partly cloudy. And as we look at the week ahead, yeah, these temperatures, they're cooler than what we're going to see over the next few days. They're closer to average though, but they're still mild. And we're going to remain that way as we head into the end of next week, as we get back up into the lower 50s by next Friday. Now, of course, we're still in winter. And you never know exactly what Mother Nature is going to throw our way, because she could throw a big cool down again at us. But for now, we got time to thaw out. We got time for your pipes to thaw out, time for everything to melt, maybe even some rain to help clear some of that snow stuff, that snow grime off of your car. That way you don't have to go to the car wash unless you just really want to. Well, we got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Wildcat Wednesday. Today we'll be learning about a healthy start to the new year with SMART goals. And here to tell us about it is Catherine Pinto from K-State Extension Office. Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thanks, I'm happy to be here.
So explain to me, what does SMART stand for?
So we're talking about SMART goals, and so it's the new year, everyone's setting goals. And those are great, but following through on those goals are really important, and that's usually where we lack. Yeah. So looking at each acronym, we have S, so we're going to be specific in those goals, not just saying we want to eat healthy, but does that mean we're going to drink less soda or eat more fruits and vegetables? And then we are going to have something to measure it against, so it's measurable. So again, going back to eating healthy, drinking less soda or whatever sugary beverage it is, how are you going to track that? So is it a food journal that you're writing everything down? And then they are attainable. And so, meeting yourself where you're at and not having this huge goal, I think that's usually where people set themselves up for failures, because they put this big goal and then they don't reach it and they throw in the towel altogether. Yeah. And so have something that is attainable. So if you drink 10 Dr. Peppers a day, and maybe we're going to cut it down to 5. So something that is attainable for you. And then we're going to be realistic. And so going back, that ties into attainable. Is it realistic for you to cut down to 5 Dr. Peppers a day? Because, that's people's kryptonite. I know that. And so maybe we're going to go, just 1 a day less and kind of teeter ourselves off of it. And then the last is time bound. And so having that date set that you want to reach that goal by. And I always like to use this example as I like to run. I take my training a lot more serious if I have a race on the calendar. There's a date there. If there isn't, I'm just frolicking. I kind of run, I kind of do things, but if there's a date that I have that race, I'm going to take that goal more seriously.
Nice. I think those are some great tips, and it can actually help people not only set goals, but attain those goals for the new year.
Right. I think a lot of times we're building trust with ourselves. We set a goal, and then every time we haven't met that destination, we just think we never can. So set small goals along the way, build that trust, and then you'll get to that overall big goal.
Nice. Is there any way I can contact you for any information?
Yeah. So you can go to our Wildcat Extension District Facebook page, or my email is going to be kdpinto@ksu.edu.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think you gave us some great tips, definitely tips I'm going to use personally for my New Year's resolution. We'll be right back after this. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Elizabeth Brown. Private First Class Brown served in the Army from 1943 to 1945. She served at the AAFB Wright Field in Dayton, Ohio. During her service, she earned the American Campaign Medal, World War II Victory Medal, and a Good Conduct Medal. A native of LaSharpe, Kansas, we thank you. Today's four-state hero, Elizabeth Brown.
Well, thrilled to travel to Chicago to attend one of the biggest mariachi music conferences, but when it was time for them to go home, their nightmare began.
Winter weather left them stranded at the airport just days before Christmas without anywhere to sleep and no luggage. Danny Masterson spoke to one of the students' chaperones and about what happened next.
It was was happy and exciting times for these Mariachi Azul students from Fremont Middle School as they raised money to travel to Chicago for the Midwest Clinic, one of the biggest mariachi music conferences.
The clinic went fantastic. The kids did great.
It was great until it was time to return home and in time for Christmas.
We did get out of Chicago in time, but that's how we got stuck in Omaha.
The holiday weather left these 19 students and some chaperones stranded on the 22nd. And with no travel plans to be in Omaha, Julie Avila and Jasleek Hernandez, amongst other chaperones, had to scramble quickly.
These kids need somewhere warm to sleep tonight. Like, I will go and just charge it up on my card. It's fine. I needed to make sure that they were in a hotel somewhere safe.
And the church network quickly came to the rescue. Churches in Vegas found out about the group being stranded and reached out to churches in Omaha.
Christmas was fantastic. The kids, we had 2 groups come out to us and they brought homemade Christmas dinner to us.
Merry Christmas! We miss you! One of the churches in Omaha giving all the kids Christmas cards with money to help them replace items that were lost in their luggage and to buy Christmas gifts.
We went to Walmart and the kids just shopped and bought whatever they wanted with their money. And of course, I made sure they bought necessities first.
7 children and 2 chaperones returned to Vegas Monday morning. 9 are scheduled to get on a flight Monday night, leaving 6 people in Omaha who aren't scheduled to return until Thursday.
I'm one of the ones that's staying behind because I need to make sure the kids get home first.
Well, the group school district said in a statement, the Clark County School District has worked with school administration to make arrangements for students, chaperones, and staff impacted by the travel delays across the country, and the superintendent has been in direct contact with the Fremont Middle School group, and district leadership is exploring all opportunities to get the students, chaperones, and staff home as soon as possible. So I took a school trip to Chicago back my junior year in high school, and of course I was watching the news, watching the weather, and they were talking about a big snowstorm coming in. And we were actually hoping that we'd get stranded in Chicago, but it ended up going a little bit further to the north and we missed out. But we were really hoping to get stranded in Chicago because that would have been fun. But,
I mean, Chicago's a pretty big city. It's a lot of things to do there. So being stranded,
yeah, you could be stranded in worse places. So.
Way worse places.
We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. It proved to be a busy week for the 4 states firefighters as they responded to multiple blazes. On Tuesday, fire crews battled an evening fire in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Joplin. The fire began around 5 p.m. at 2604 East 11th Street, and authorities had to close down Florida Avenue from 14th to 8th Street. 11th Street has now been reopened. No one was hurt in the fire. In Miami, Oklahoma, authorities searched for the cause of a house fire that has now taken the life of a Northeast Oklahoma man days later. The fire happened around 8 p.m. on Friday at 322 B Street Southwest. Fire crews noticed heavy smoke and fire from a bedroom window where they brought out a 56-year-old man. He died from his injuries on Monday. And in Kansas, on Tuesday, Pittsburgh officials released information about a house fire that happened last week on Forest Street. The fire happened on Friday shortly after 6 a.m. Authorities reported flames rising from the roof of the 2-story house. The fire appeared to be in the attic. The fire was under control within about a half hour. No one was hurt. There is no word yet on the cause of the fire. Drivers in Noah, Missouri can expect lane reductions and traffic delays beginning next Tuesday. Crews will begin work to stabilize the steam bank and improve sidewalk conditions along Elk River on Route 59 between the Elk River Bridge and Butler Creek Bridge. Only one lane on Route 59 will be open at all times. There will be no signed detours, but to find a full list of traffic impacts, head on over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The approach of the new year means people are making New Year's resolutions. One of the most common resolutions is getting healthy. Whether getting a gym membership or starting a diet, many people want to start the year fresh. But very few people actually keep their New Year's resolution. According to the INC.com, among the 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, only 9% are successful in keeping them.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. What is your New Year's resolution? A number of options available. So far, 38% of you say something else from what we offered. 26% of you say you're going to spend time with family. 12% of you say you're going to try and lose weight. 6% of you saying you're going to finish your education, travel, or pay off debts. And another 6% of you say you were going to help those in need. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in discussion. Share your New Year's resolution on our Facebook page, and maybe share how you're actually going to keep it, because like you said, only 9% of those who make the resolutions are successful in keeping them. So,
right.
And that is the challenge, because it's very easy. You and I can sit up here and say right now, I'm going to make a resolution. I'm going to try and get in shape this year. I can say it. And then when it comes to actually doing it, it's a totally different story. It can be tough sometimes.
Action speaks louder than words.
They certainly do. And we've got a very windy day for us today, an alert day today, wind advisory through midnight, as we could see gusts 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. I tell you what, we're going to back this up a little bit because I learned something new today. And by new, I mean right now. I learned something just now. I have a couple extra minutes to tell you what's going on. So let's start from the beginning. First off, we've had a beautiful sunrise in Joplin, but it is very windy. Now the tower at 7th and Range Line that our camera's mounted to, it takes a lot of wind to shake it, and it's been shaking this morning. At 36th and Range Line, the MoDOT camera there shaking in the breeze as well. Now it's zoomed in, so the effect is going to be a little more pronounced, but it is blowing out there for sure. That's why we have that alert day for that wind advisory through midnight tonight, which you can see it on our Skywatch Storm Tracker. All the counties highlighted in brown. That's why I was saying the wind gusts 40, 50, potentially even upwards of 60 miles an hour as we head into the afternoon. And it is going to remain gusty as we head through Wednesday afternoon, which is today, through this afternoon, into tonight, and into tomorrow morning as well. So make sure your trash can is secured, because this is a trash can gone forever kind of day. In Joplin right now, we got the beautiful sunrise, clear skies, 45, feels like 36, south breeze at 24, gusting upwards of 37 miles an hour out there. And across the region, again, a much milder start for us today. We have 48 Center, 42 Chinook, Parsons, 43 Chitopa, 46 Miami, 45 in Neosho, 41 in Monette, Nevada, and 43 in Lamar. Now, as you saw earlier, as we go through today, we're going to warm up to 57 degrees. So a very nice mild day, but those winds could cause their own problems. Again, maybe some small tree limbs could be down, and of course power outage is a possibility as well. So even though it looks nice outside, just be prepared for that. Clouds will increase as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours, leaving us mostly cloudy tonight. Early low of 50, and then like last night, temperatures will start to rise towards sunrise across the region. And then from here on out, we're going to be all right. We've got a chance of some showers possible on New Year's Eve day, but as you can see, this is pretty early in the day. They should be gone by the time it's time to ring in the new year. And we're also going to continue to stay mild. Our next best chance of showers and thunderstorms is going to come with a system, as you can see, still bringing in a good southerly breeze by Monday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms looking possible across the area. So let's talk the future. Tomorrow, 61, mostly cloudy, 53 Friday, 55 Saturday. Again, maybe those scattered showers. 63 Sunday and partly cloudy. Maybe some storms Monday and 62. And then 51 Tuesday, partly cloudy. And these temps, yeah, they're a bit cooler, but they're closer to normal for us. But we remain mild all the way into the end of next week. And then look at these overnight lows. They're not bad either. Looking pretty good. So we'll have a chance to thaw out across the area and get some of this wintry precipitation gone. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Officials in Buffalo are cracking down on drivers in the city as extraordinary cleanup efforts continue. The move comes as emergency crews work to clear the streets and assess the damage and lives lost following the historic and deadly blizzard. Alexis McAdams has the details.
Storm-battered Buffalo still working to recover after a massive and deadly blizzard slammed the city and other parts of western New York.
We got, when I was looking at the measurements, about 41 inches of snow, and then we got more snow on top of that.
As communities dig out, many grappling with the enormous loss of life. The death toll surpassing the 29 storm-related deaths of that historic blizzard of 77. Most of those killed in this storm were in the city of Buffalo, but that number expected to grow.
Fortunately, the most deaths that we've ever had in a storm as a result of Mother Nature's wrath.
It's not just massive snowbanks that need clearing. Abandoned cars are still blocking streets. Because of these hazards, Buffalo officials putting a strict driving ban in place to create safe and easy passage for first responders and to help emergency crews clean up from the storm. Despite days of pleas to stay off those roads, a number of folks ignoring the ban, forcing authorities to deploy dozens of state and military police to enforce the policy.
If you are trying to get in the city of Buffalo, please stay out unless you're emergency personnel, unless you're a first responder, unless you're authorized in an emergency situation.
This once-in-a-generation storm, which started ahead of Christmas weekend, pummeled western New York with blizzard conditions and more than 4 feet of lake-effect snow, prompting concerns about flooding later in the week.
The primary focus, because of that melt, is going to be to make sure that we are cleared from curb to curb in as many areas as possible.
Snowbanks.
Now, Western New York, just like the 4 states, is expected to warm up in the coming days. And that is exactly what we're going to do as we head into the future. 7th and range line, we've got, look at there we go. Now the camera's shaking a bit, and it takes a lot to shake that camera down there. 36th and range line, MoDOT camera there, blowing in the breeze as well. That's why we have an alert day with a wind advisory, because we could see gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour. We could even see gusts, as you'll see on the wind tracker, upwards of 60. Here's the wind advisory for all the counties in Brown through midnight tonight, and here's the future gusts as we head into this afternoon, again pushing 50 to 60 miles an hour across the area. This is a southerly breeze, so east-west roadways are the ones that are going to be most impacted by this wind. Even smaller vehicles could be impacted, so be careful. This is a trash can gone forever kind of day, so do make sure it is secured. We are 45 degrees and clear in Joplin, feels like 36, south breeze at 24, gusting to 37. Across the region, it's a warmer start for us, 39 Iola, 42 Chinook Parsons, 43 Chetopa, 46 Miami, and 45 in Neosho. As we go through today, we're heading for a high of 57 degrees. Clouds will increase through the afternoon, and of course it'll be breezy. Breezy tonight as well, dropping back down to an early low of 50, and then temperatures will actually begin to rise towards sunrise. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. All right, we do have an alert day for us today with that wind advisory again through midnight tonight. Wind gusts could push 40, 50 miles an hour, possibly even up to 60. So here's all the counties involved, which is nearly all of us, and again through midnight tonight on that, as we could see those gusts pushing that 40, 50 mile an hour range. Even by this afternoon, we could start to see gusts pushing 60 miles an hour across the region, and that could lead to its own problems. Maybe some small branches being downed and potential power outages across the area, and it will remain breezy throughout today, into tonight, and into tomorrow morning. In Joplin right now, we're 45 degrees, feels like 36 with the south breeze at 24, gusting upwards of 37 miles an hour. And again, we're about 30 some odd degrees warmer now than we were yesterday morning. 39 in Iola, 42 Parsons, Chetopa, 46 Miami, 45 Neosho, Carthage, and 41 in Nevada. As we go through today, we'll have increasing cloud cover, so we're going to be mostly clear to start. Clouds will increase, 57 for a high, and of course very breezy out there. And then as we head into tonight, we drop back down to an early low of 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise as we head towards sunrise tomorrow morning. And a look at the 7-day forecast, boy, it starts to get pretty nice out there. 61 tomorrow, 53 by Friday. Saturday, New Year's Eve day, we could see some scattered showers. They should be out of here before it's time to ring in the new year. 55, 63 for the first day of 2023. Partly cloudy skies, the perfect way to kick off the new year. Maybe some thunderstorms on Monday with a high of 62, and then up to 51 on Tuesday of next week, partly cloudy. Overnight lows, by the way, looking pretty good as well. And as we extend this on out, we get a little cooler, more seasonable, but still mild compared to what we've seen across the region as we head into the end of next week. And same with those overnight lows staying pretty decent, so we're finally getting an opportunity to thaw out a little bit here in the 4 states and get some of that winter precipitation that's left out of here. That's it for your forecast. Now, here's Amber. My goodness, I don't know where I am with Consumer Watch.
In Consumer Watch this morning. Now that the Christmas holiday is over, millions of Americans will be taking a closer look at their year-end expenses, including those credit card bills. Some economists are increasingly worried about the threat of a recession next year. There's still so much uncertainty with inflation and the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. William Legends says, reports.
With just a few days left to go until the new year, economists are evaluating mixed data as they try to gauge the state of the economy. The Federal Reserve is in focus, with many worried about the next steps they plan to take to get prices under control.
You have a Federal Reserve who's sticking with the 2% inflation target. They have to raise interest rates. They are behaving, as I said before, like a petulant 2-year-old.
The housing market is feeling the pinch from the Fed's aggressive rate hikes. New economic data out Tuesday revealed U.S. home prices fell for a fourth straight month, with higher mortgage rates cooling demand.
You've seen such huge price gains year over year over year. Even in some markets, if they're lowering by 20%, these sellers are still making money.
Meanwhile, higher prices didn't stop shoppers from spending during this year's holiday season. MasterCard reported retail sales rose 7.6%. They found many Americans chose to eat out during the holidays, with restaurant spending up 15.1%.
This is a pretty early report, a preliminary report, and if history is any judge, I think when you see the sales come out in January for the holiday, they're going to be lower than these numbers.
Is expected in February, but by how much is going to depend on the next round of economic data. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. We're hearing lots of stories of people stranded in the historic blizzard that hit Buffalo Christmas weekend. One man was afraid he wouldn't even make it home in the snow.
But a group of friends on snowmobiles came to the rescue and saved him and dozens of others around the city. Sydney Year has the story.
You had to be there in the situation and walk past these cars and crawling over these cars to get out of your vehicle and seeing some elderly people, women and kids that couldn't make it through that snow.
Eddie Porter says he was in the thick of the storm, taking desperate measures to rescue others. But it wasn't long before the raging winds and the bitter cold caused Porter to experience a desperate time of his own.
We didn't know what we were going to do. We were going to give everything, put a post to get money. I was going to give all the money I had to get back here to my family.
After 19 hours and 43 minutes stranded outside on Buffalo's east side, Porter says this sound changed everything.
These guys were helping people, and he said he knew a place he could take us, and he will help us out. I guess God sent the angel.
I wasn't expecting to do as much as we did and not realizing how many people really needed our help.
Porter says his angel, William Kless, and a group of friends not only saved him, but saved so many others who wouldn't have made it on their own. On the backs of their snowmobiles, Kless says they were able to save 50 people.
I lost track of time because I was helping so many people. It was wind blowing. He's got ski masks. The people that I saved were like this. You couldn't even see. They had to put their head in the back of me and just hang on for the ride, and we got them back safe.
Had he not been there, I'd probably be dead, honestly, because where was I going to go? Where was we going to walk to in them conditions?
Kless says they spent 3 days saving people, animals, delivering food, and hope.
The thank yous and, the text messages from people out of state and family members, it's priceless, you know what I mean? It's beautiful, honestly, it really is.
It's a beautiful and Buffalo strong act of kindness Porter says he'll never forget.
It's good to know that you got some good people out here, man. It really is.
That's incredible. I mean, what they've seen up in Buffalo, you were just mentioning, it looks like they're riding around in Antarctica, but they're in downtown Buffalo.
Right.
They really got hit hard up there. And I mean, we got our own share of the winter weather, but thankfully nothing as severe as what those folks have been seeing. So.
They can keep that, but I just love stories like this because it also just puts a spotlight on the people who are helping the community during these hard times.
Yeah, it reminds you that there's still good people out there in the world, even though sometimes it doesn't seem like it with everything going on, but there are still good people out there willing to lend a hand. For today, we've got our own new situation to deal with, and that's the strong winds. You can see our tower cam at 7th and range line shaking a little bit in the breeze, and you can see the one from MoDOT looking at 36 in range line shaking a bit in the breeze as well, as we have an alert day today for a wind advisory that runs until midnight, as we can see gusts that are 40 to 50 miles an hour, possibly a little bit higher. And this is what that wind advisory looks like on a map. All these counties highlighted in brown. And again, it runs until midnight tonight. Winds later this afternoon could be gusting 50 to 60 miles an hour out of the south. So east-west roadways are the ones going to be the most impacted. And with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, even a small car is going to be impacted by this, so make sure you have a good grip on the wheel. And it stays breezy as we head into tonight and early tomorrow morning as well. We're 45 in Joplin right now, feeling like 36 with clear skies, south breeze at 24, gusting upwards of 37. A much milder start for us today, which is good, and we're going to continue to be that way. 42 Chinook, Parsons, Chatopa, 46 Miami, 45 Neosho, Carthage, and 42 in Lamar. For today, aside from the wind situation, not bad. 57 degrees. Got clouds increasing as we head through the afternoon hours and into the evening. And tonight, we'll have an early low of 50, and then temperatures will begin to rise overnight to about 55 by sunrise with mostly cloudy skies across the area. We are staying dry for the next few days, but as we head into the holiday weekend, there is a chance of some stray showers. You can see by 8 a.m. Saturday, we may see a few of those in the early part of the day, but as we get closer to midnight to ring in 2023, we start to clear out across the area. But that's not our only chance of rain. So we head into Monday of next week, more widespread shower and thunderstorm chances looking likely as we head into Monday across the region, and then those will exit out by Monday evening. So let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, shall we? Up to 61 tomorrow, mostly cloudy Friday, 53. Maybe those showers on Saturday, 55. New Year's Day, we are ringing in 2023 in style here. 63 degrees, partly cloudy skies, a spring-like day on January the 1st. 62 Monday, maybe some showers and thunderstorms. 51 Tuesday, partly cloudy. And as we extend this out, we stay mild all the way through the end of next week. Those temperatures, yeah, bit cooler. They're closer to average for us, but not bad. And then look at these overnight lows looking pretty good as well. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that a pandemic-era limits on immigration will remain in effect indefinitely. The policy, often referred to as Title 42, allows the U.S. to expel asylum seekers for public health reasons. Immigration advocates argue Title 42 goes against American and international obligations to people fleeing their countries to escape prosecution. The High Court says it will start listening to arguments on the policy in February. As in Buffalo, New York digs out from under more than 4 feet of snow, officials are bracing for potential flooding. The National Weather Service is forecasting temperatures in the 40s later this week. There's a concern that the rapid snow melting will overwhelm the city's drainage system. And U.S. airports are still jammed with frustrated passengers trying to get home after the holidays. Southwest Airlines canceled more than 2,600 flights on Tuesday. It's canceled thousands more today. The federal government says it's investigating why the nation's fourth largest airline has lagged so far behind other carriers in recovering from the pre-Christmas storm.
For us today, an alert day with a wind advisory through midnight. Gusts could push 40, 50, potentially even 60 miles an hour. Outside of that, we'll see increasing clouds as we head into the afternoon, a high of 57. We'll have an early low tonight of 50 degrees, and then temperatures will begin to warm towards sunrise under mostly cloudy skies. And take a look at this 7-day. We're up to 61 tomorrow, 53 on Friday. Maybe some early showers on Saturday, 55. 63, partly cloudy for the first day of the new year. Maybe some storms on Tuesday and 62 or Monday and 62, and then by Tuesday of next week 51 and partly cloudy. So some pretty decent weather ahead of us here.
The internet's favorite word game topped Google's Trends most search list for 2022.
The Year in Search report ranks the top words and phrases in different categories, including the top overall search.
Wordle reached its peak number of searches in February and was the most searched in Vermont. The top 5 also included election results, Betty White, the Queen, and Bob Saget. In terms of most searched in the year in the Near Me, gas prices ranked #1 ahead at home COVID testing.
The #1 searched movie was Encanto, and Johnny Depp was the most searched actor. So Google keeping a list of everything that you're searching. And it is interesting, though, to see what people have been searching throughout the year, what some of the top trends are, what some of the bigger things that people are searching for would be throughout the years. So, and I'm not surprised by that list, to be honest.
I'm not surprised either, especially with Betty White, Johnny Depp. He had a big court case this year, and of course the beloved Betty White passed away earlier this year. God rest her soul.
It's hard to believe that everything that has taken place so far in 2022. I mean, some of these year-ender stories that we've been doing, boy, they've got a lot to recap. Well, we've got a lot more for you tomorrow morning when we see you back here. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning today, and we'll be back with more at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.